So I was inspired by recent discussions on social media to make myself some crispy chicken wings. I need very few things to make these absolutely fantastic and delicious chicken wings other than time, patience, chicken wings, and some spices. So I have here 12 chicken wings. Luckily, the little itty-bitty end on the chicken wing has been taken off, but I am actually going to have to cut these up a little bit. I have a really big bowl to put my finished chicken wings in, and then I have some spices laying off here to the side, including the most important ingredient for crispy chicken wings, believe it or not, baking powder. That will be the key to the crispiest of chicken wings. So, the first thing that we need to do is actually separate the chicken wings into the flapper and the drumlet. So, chicken wing, right? This is the flapper, and this is the drumlet, named thusly because it looks like a little chicken drumstick. We have to find the joint that actually connects these two, which is usually right around here. We take a nice, sharp, big knife, kids watching at home, let mom or dad do this, and cut with lots of pressure into the joint, and there we have a separated flapper and drumlet. We've got to repeat that 12 times. I am now going to add my spices and baking powder and just mix until everything is coated. What I don't want to do is add additional baking powder. The recipe is correct. However, I have used 2 more wings than the recipe called for, so I'm going to sprinkle in about 1/4 teaspoon extra just to make up for the extra chicken I've got in here. So there is my baking powder, and now I can add my spices. I have my 1/2 teaspoon measure here because basically I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of everything that I have. So we're going to start with our salt. I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I am going to add 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. And I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of what's called pili or chili flakes. Basically, you could also do this with cayenne pepper if you like a little heat, which I do. And then finally, this is actually something I found at a local shop here. I do not know if you'd be able to find it in the United States, but it is smoky herb and spice mix that actually comes from an African tradition, and it makes everything taste deliciously smoky. I actually put about 3/4 teaspoon of that in there. Now, time to take your clean hands and mix all of this up and make sure every piece of chicken gets an even coating. Alright, so the first thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and started my oven preheating at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 120 degrees Celsius, 120, 125. And you can see here I've prepared kind of a special pan. All that you really need is a rack like this because you're going to want air to be constantly moving around your chicken wings. So you don't want to be putting them flat on a pan. You can use what I've used, which is a roasting rack with the wire part of it just turned upside down so it's off the surface of the pan. You could use things like cooling racks if they're all metal, put on top of a cookie sheet. As long as you've elevated your chicken wings, you're okay. And we're going to place each piece on the wire rack. They don't have to be particularly far apart, that's not a problem, but you want them to just be off the bottom of your pan. Also, make sure that all of your wings are skin side up. And now with a tray of beautiful wings prepared, I'm going to put these into the oven, and then I'm going to bake them for about 30 minutes. Then I actually have to do some stuff with the oven and bake them even longer, so we'll see you in 30 minutes. Alright, we are back 30 minutes later, and normally I wouldn't even take these out of the oven yet because I would just move on to the next step without touching these, but I wanted to show you what they would look like. So these are about halfway done. Now, to get them super duper crispy, I'm going to put them back in the oven, but I'm going to crank up the temperature to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 205 degrees Celsius, and bake these for another 30 minutes. So back in they go. Here is our finished product, the fruits of our labor, delicious crispy chicken wings. Now we can let these cool for about 5 minutes and then we can toss them with our favorite sauce, buffalo sauce. I have some homemade barbecue that I plan to dip some of these in, or you can honestly just eat them the way that they are because they're seasoned so well and so crispy and so delicious. So, there you have it, crispy chicken wings. Enjoy.